Top 10 cards you're going to want to pick up from Battles of Legend Terminal Revenge. Make sure you guys smash the link, crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more Oz content. So we're going to be starting off over here with Jasmine, and this is actually a huge win out here to all of you plant players that have been waiting for this card to actually become slightly more affordable, because formerly spending $30 a piece on these was definitely not in a single person's agenda, and I don't blame anybody out here for wanting to do that. But not having this card, you know, be at an affordable price point really hurt people from wanting to experiment with every one of the plant decks that was just kind of sitting around in the format. Now you can get the chance to do so. I wonder if this will actually push plants to like a new modern era, like revolution, you know, more people having the chance to actually play this deck. Maybe puts it more into the spotlight, but we'll have to wait and see. I'm genuinely curious to know if Jasmine's price drop will do some crazy stuff. Next up is Sacrifice Level Up. Now, I've been pretty vocal about this card because I think this is one of the coolest cards in this set. It lets you target an Exceed monster you control. Banish 2 materials from it. Okay. And if you do, special summon one Exceeds monster from your extra deck who's one rank higher than that monster, but it cannot attack this turn. You can only activate one Sacrifice Level Up per turn. Now, keep in mind this is not a rank up spell card, which means it's not entirely searchable, but it does give you the ability to rank up into something that is guaranteed one rank higher than the monster. I don't know, I just have a fascination with this card being able to work in the way that it does. You know, for a burn 2 materials off of it on a banish, you get the chance to produce something quite possibly a little bit more interesting. I don't know, I think this card has future application somewhere. It's an ultra rare, so it's going to be relatively cheap as well. But this is my wild card pickup of the set. Oh, hey! Hi, Substitute. No errata, by the way. It's not a once per turn. So this actually maintains his proper effect. And a good job to Konami for actually looking at Edison cards and actually going, yeah, we need to reprint these. I will say one of the most interesting things about this, though, receiving a reprint, was the fact that we have the Light of Destruction set confirmed coming for a reprint later on this year. So Konami straight just took a look at that and said, hey, you know, you're going to get 2 reprints for this. You know, you'll be able to have these. And Konami does use these sort of sets to actually kind of give us a card slot or 2 to Edison. I think that this was actually pretty good. Now, I don't want to hear anybody in Edison go, wow, I can't afford Substitute, because this should, hypothetically, knock that price point down to an extremely good level, or it'll still be a $5 card. But that could be the case. Genex card. So, Genex is one of the 4 themes ported into this set. The reason why I mentioned to pick this up is, you know, if a lot of people like to have the deck cores, as long as, you know, the Genex core itself is not a lot of money, I think this is one of those things, you know, spend, what, 10, 15 bucks to have the core so you can essentially play it. My only main concern with this deck is we've lost Baron, which was kind of our end board. Honestly, it was the end board. You're still able to set up and do some kind of cooler things on the side. Also, you know, the Link 1 is the thing that drives the deck. And Imperm, Veiler, Ghost Mourner, all of these cards have a terrible knack of just hitting it with a truck. You got to keep that in mind if you're looking at the Genex cards. Like, your Link 1 is your deck, and if anything happens to happen to that Link 1, it's going to be a bad time. Ice Barriers. So I've also been pretty vocal in saying that I think Ice Barriers is the 3rd best deck in the set, even though my comment section has kindly informed me that it is not. But I can tell you, after watching infinite playtesting with this deck's got some pretty big issues of its own, alright? Not to say it's as big as Genex's problems are, but obviously I don't want to point out Shifter being the bad guy in the room, but I can tell you the amount of times that I played against Ice Barrier while playing the Yugi deck, and I Shifter them. I actually think I'm 6-0 Shiftering Ice Barrier and with the Yugi deck, and they're just losing. Somebody's going to be like, well, you know, you opened up the barrier. You know, well, I did open up the good card. All right. Unfortunately, It's just how it works. That's what playtesting gets you on the turbo playtesting grind. But yeah, I think this deck is still fine. It is something that, once again, picking up to add to the deck core department is going to be good. Noidies! I can't tell you if grass is coming back. I'm sure everybody wants grass to come back. I'm sure if grass did come back, Noid would take off and explode. But what I can tell you is somebody out here is going to try some of this Noid stuff. Dinkatron not being, restricted in the way that its design is, kind of allows the card to be a little bit broken. We've seen the things that Dinkatron can do, especially when you can start soft looping the stupid thing. And you're like, oh, Dinkatron dump. Now my Dinkatron's, an Oniku. Now it's a Deviati. Now it's Patrulli for some reason. And it's the little things like that that I guess I can appreciate with Noids. Once again, it is another deck core that people are going to want to add to their collection, and do not underestimate the hardcore Infernoid players out here. Void Imagination's alt art is beautiful, by the way. Ritual Beast, I think, is the strongest deck core out of this set. Actually, putting it, I would say, near Rogue status. Actually, it probably will be Rogue. I do expect, I would say, we'd have some regionals out here to kind of justify this and see, but the regional circuit is done this week, and actually heading on into like another week or two here, but no, don't worry about that. It's interesting. The things that Ritual Beast can do, you can still do the Kanahawk loops. I think most builds are only playing one Steeds now, even though I think Steeds is a very good card, but I don't know. I guess most of the builds don't want to kind of dedicate too much into playing into the big old space rock. It just kind of depends on what you feel like your end board needs to be to justify how far in the combo extensions that you need to go, and also, how much you want to dedicate to the loops to be able to do your thing. But definitely the strongest piece out here that you're going to want to add to your collection. Now, personally, in terms of pickups, I'm putting the Snatch Steal QCR on this list. You gotta remember, Change of Heart, Snatch Steal, all these slightly higher rarity cards that we can use to take control of your opponent's cards, have these going second board breakers out here. People do like these being available in higher rarity. And I do think that having that potential pickup slot for the Snatch Steal is definitely, it checks all the marks here. A lot of these QCRs in this set, I think, are going to be very interesting for what people are going to be experiencing. And honestly, you can add any of the real choices that you want to the set list to, kind of decide, is this a piece that I want to add to my collection? Or do I think that, something else is definitely a little bit more suited for something else? But Snatch Steal is the one I'm putting here for pickups. And then, of course, Phantom of Yubel. This is like the best card in the set. Like, honestly. Phantom of Yubel is just straight nuts. The fact that we can now unlock the ability to splash 3 Thrones, a Spirit of Yubel, and a base form Yubel into our decks, and just be able to have a negate to play around with. Obviously, Imperm Nibiru can break the board. They can set the board right back on up, though. Trust me, I've watched this deck do some of the stupidest recovery plays that you could ever actually expect to see, and it is crazy how much gas the little extensions can go through. So, yeah, Phantom of Yubel needs to be on your pickup list if you are planning on playing any of these sorts of, choices out here to, want to have the combo package available. Personally, my number one is going to be the Max Rarity Sky Striker Ray for this set, because I'm a huge Sky Striker player. I love I've already got the deck Max Rarity, have the engages and everything, and now that I can get an Alt Art Ray, this was personally my favorite pick out of the set. But truthfully, I don't think it is the absolute number one thing that you need to be having in this set. My number one is going to be the Dragon Master Knight, and I put this on the list strictly because it's a collector's card, and you all know how our player base loves having, a ultimate dragon and a literal fusion of, one of the coolest arts of DMOC. I think I've had the chance to see. So we are going to put this on the top of our pickups list here, because the dedicated player base for this is going to love their new amazing Blue Eyes, sick art, Dark Magician fusion card. And honestly, I think the card is extremely iconic for what you want to see here. So, what do you guys think about the pickups? Please leave a comment down below what you guys think, and I'll see your beautiful faces back here later in the day, guys. Peace. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.